From football cages to the biggest stage.
Upamecano, and fangs the net wonderfully.
Dayot Upamecano, the 22-year-old defensive jewel.
Wonderful defending once again from Upamecano.
From a French town via Leipzig to one of the biggest clubs in the world, Dayot Upamecano, one of the Bundesliga's best. Upamecano is one of the Bundesliga's most exciting players. Leipzig's defensive ace is the epitome of robustness and pace. His top speed of 35.43 kilometers per hour makes him one of the fastest centre-backs in the German top flight. And his powers of anticipation are just as brilliant. He's feared by opponents.
It's very tough to work your way around Dayot Upamecano.
Cheered by teammates. Solid as a rock, Upamecano's journey to the top has been a special one. Evreux, France, a town of 40,000 in Normandy, 100 kilometers northwest of Paris. This is where the extraordinary story of Dayot Upamecano began. The young Dayot used to play in these football cages almost every day with his friends in the early 2000s.
2 heures, on jouait tout le temps là-bas et c'est vrai que ça a travaillé, il n'y avait pas de pause et c'est vrai que ça a travaillé mon agressivité et tout ça, et ma technique aussi.
Looking back at his roots where the great adventure all started is moving for the big man.
Ça me fait plaisir de réécouter mon coach et de les voir jouer où j'ai grandi, où j'ai joué en étant petit et c'est vrai que ça me fait très plaisir de les voir et de les entendre. Et ça me fait très plaisir.
Upa, as he's frequently known, laid the foundations for his journey into the footballing world at the Evreux Academy. Here he met another player destined for stardom, Ousmane Dembélé. The former Dortmund and current Barcelona forward was the Bundesliga Rookie of the Season in 2017.
Dembélé!
An exceptional player who Upamecano is still friends with today.
J'ai fait quelques matchs avec lui en U13. J'ai fait quelques matchs avec lui et je l'ai connu aussi dans les mêmes quartiers, à Evreux, à la Madeleine ça s'appelle.
Youth coach Romeric Bultel saw the two were different even back then. Dembélé just looked destined for a career on the international stage, but Upamecano had to work hard for his.
C'est une fierté parce que c'est un garçon qui mérite. C'est surtout ça, il n'avait pas des qualités innées. Ça veut dire que quand il est arrivé au foot, il n'avait pas toutes les qualités qu'il a maintenant.
Upamecano had to learn early on how to establish himself both on the pitch at Evreux and in school.
Après, c'est vrai que c'est important l'école et que j'avais un peu des difficultés, mais j'essayais quand même de travailler. Mais c'est vrai que je pensais beaucoup au foot.
But it wasn't just school that was tough. The young Dayot had a stutter between the ages of 10 and 13 and was sometimes teased by his teammates. But he got it under control with the help of a speech therapist, and he worked tirelessly to constantly improve in football as well.
Ouais, j'ai travaillé beaucoup de choses, j'ai travaillé tout seul. Quand j'avais pas entraînement, j'allais courir, j'allais travailler mes passes.
His ambition quickly saw him advance. He spent 2 years in the youth teams at second-tier Valenciennes and became an under-17 European champion with France in 2015. Big clubs were looking at him. But in the end, on the advice of his parents, Upamecano decided on a move to Austria with Red Bull Salzburg. At 17, Upamecano was already a first-team regular with Salzburg and an Austrian champion. Only 6 months later, in January 2017, he took the next big step to RB Leipzig, at the time in their second top-flight campaign. On the 4th of February, Upamecano made his Bundesliga debut.
Going to see a debut here for Dayot Upamecano, the teenage French defender. Here is Upamecano. He is really by trade a centre-back.
At only 18, he was the youngest player ever to feature for Leipzig in the Bundesliga. But it wasn't an easy start. In his second game, a 3-0 defeat at home to Hamburg, Upamecano was taken off after only 31 minutes. But like at Evreux, he didn't let that get him down, and only a few weeks later he'd become an integral part of Leipzig's defence. As reserved as Upamecano is off the pitch, he's just as resolute on it. What makes him so strong is his perfect mix of tackling ability, reading of the game and speed, as well as posing a goal threat. His first Bundesliga goal came in February 2018.
And there's the opener. It's a first ever club goal for Dayot Upamecano. He's never scored a goal for anybody before. Now's a great time to start.
Je suis très heureux pour le club et pour moi et pour ma famille. Parce que ma famille aussi, ils attendaient ça et moi aussi, donc je suis très heureux.
It made the 19-year-old Leipzig's youngest ever goal scorer in the Bundesliga. But more important than his attacking forays are his defensive qualities. His challenge success rate of 62% is the best by a Leipzig player in 2020-21. His speed is also impressive, even when a striker looks out of sight like Gladbach's Marcus Thuram here. With a 2-metre head start, Upamecano still manages to catch up through his incredible pace. The Frenchman is one of the fastest players in the league. With a top speed of over 35 kilometers per hour, he covers almost 10 meters in a second, catches up to Thuram and prevents an almost certain goal.
Upamecano had his say.
Upamecano is always there where he's needed. If an attacker's touch is just slightly off, Leipzig's 1.86 metre tall defensive leader is there to step in. It takes something special to get past his 90-kilo but athletic frame. And then there's Upa's super reading of the game. Even with big gaps, he constantly manages to nip danger in the bud.
Es ist wirklich so, dass er durch seine Leistung und durch seine Präsenz, durch seine Geschwindigkeit, durch seine auch Zweikampfstärke, dass er uns unheimlich viel Stabilität gibt.
Stability that they also want in the French national team. Upamecano made his senior international debut as a starter in September 2020. His big dream is to feature for his country this summer at the Euros. Away from football, Upamecano is a family man. Whenever he goes back to Evreux, he visits his parents and two sisters. They mean everything to the big defender.
C'est un enfant qui est très courageux, il fait beaucoup d'efforts. Le peu de temps qu'il a, il vient nous rendre visite et c'est énormément beaucoup de plaisir pour nous.
But he still needs a taste of action off the pitch, with jet skis or quad bikes a must on holiday. The next great sporting adventure is just around the corner. His strong performances and top ability mean it was only logical for competitors to be interested. As such, the next big chapter in the 22-year-old's career begins in the summer with a move to Bayern München. He's intended to take the record champions' defence up to the next level. He'll also be joined in Munich by his coach, Julian Nagelsmann. Despite a number of options, Upamecano is excited about staying in the Bundesliga.
C'est un des meilleurs championnats au monde pour moi. J'aime la Bundesliga parce que c'est très intensif.
Nagelsmann can be just as glad to be able to call upon his top centre-back at his new club.
He will be one of the best defenders in the world when he improves and when he still work hard. He's a good guy as well. That's also important. It's nice to work with him, and he's one of the best defenders at the moment, but he will develop in the future as well, and I'm happy to have him.
Une star, je sais pas. En tout cas, je fais tout pour travailler, pour jouer le plus de matchs. Et maintenant, je me concentre dans mon club. Et j'espère arriver le plus haut possible et de jouer.
And that's where he's heading. From hard work and a down-to-earth nature in the cages of Evreux to one of the biggest stages in world football, Dayot Upamecano's remarkable journey is far from over. Do you think Upamecano has what it takes to become Bayern's new defensive leader? Let us know in the comments.